नेशनल कैंपेन ऑन दलित ह्यूमन राइट्स, ये जो एनालिसिस करता है, जो मेरा हाथ में है अभी आज रिलीज़ हुआ है, और इस एनालिसिस में ज़्यादातर जो इस साल के जो बजट है उस पे क्या कंपोनेंट्स है और उसमें दलित और आदिवासी के लिए क्या राशि है और कितना आवंटित किया है देखा जाएगा तो पूरा बजट है 51,08,780 crores है, जिसमें से सिर्फ दलितों का बजट 1,68,000 जो सिर्फ मात्र 11% है। एक्चुअली जो हमारे पॉपुलेशन प्रोपोर्शनेट होना चाहिए जो 16% है, लेकिन सिर्फ 11% दिया है। उसमें से भी 3% सिर्फ ग्राउंड तक, जो कम्युनिटी लेवल तक, उसमें तक पहुंचता है, सिर्फ 3%, वो बहुत कम है। बाकी जो 9% बजट जो आउट ऑफ 1,69,000 वो जो स्कीम्स या योजनाएं जहाँ पे कुछ लाभ नहीं है कम्युनिटी के लिए, उसके लिए जाता है। तो दैट इज़ अ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट थिंग फॉर अस टू डाइजेस्ट, क्योंकि अभी भी लोग बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन है और उनके लिए बजट की बहुत ज़रूरत है। दूसरी बात है कि आपने पोस्ट मैट्रिक स्कॉलरशिप या स्कॉलरशिप्स के बारे में बोला है कि हर साल हर साल बजट आवंटित होता है पोस्ट मैट्रिक स्कॉलरशिप के लिए, लेकिन इस साल भी हुआ है। आई जस्ट टेल यू द फिगर्स कि प्री मैट्रिक स्कॉलरशिप के लिए 500 crores फॉर SC एंड 440 crores फॉर ST, और पोस्ट मैट्रिक स्कॉलरशिप का टोटल जो एलोकेशन है 6,349 crores और शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब के लिए 2,374 crores। तो एलोकेशन ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर टू पिछले बार, बस थोड़ा बहुत इंक्रीज हुआ है। हमारा डिमांड हमेशा रहा है कि 10,000 करोड़ सिर्फ दलितों की पोस्ट मैट्रिक स्कॉलरशिप के लिए आवंटित होना चाहिए, लेकिन वो नहीं हुआ है और नहीं दिया है। लेकिन जो होता है एटलीस्ट उसका सही इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होना चाहिए।
This is really, when you're analyzing, it's really a big joke. They are allocating like this and they are showing 93% we have spent. So if we just looked at what is the budget estimate versus the actual expenditure. Earlier, these schemes they would not be spending. So a lot of people have been telling to them, yeah, how come you have allocated and you have not spent? But now we are looking at the books, gayab hua. They have not only allocated wrongly, but they have spent it also on the thing and saying, yeah, we have spent it for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. What are you crying about? You are every time only crying. So 96% spent, 80% spent, and look at the STs. 94, 89, 92, 105. They spent more than what they have allocated. 103. So the amount of gimmicks that they do on the name of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So this is again just giving you a figure. Out of the total allocation, these are totally wrong, like what you said, Yuria. These are all general schemes. We know that a general scheme does not reach scheduled castes. Ministry of Social Justice Empowerment, which has housing, which has education, which has post-matric scholarship, which has hostels, this is the only money that reaches, because there is a very specific guidelines. You have to count, you have to see. Otherwise, everybody will say, I am the son of so-and-so, I can come also under SC category, so please you give me in the name of SC category. So, all general. So, you can take it for granted, this 52.6% and 16.9% is total gaya, only 30% there will be some kind of direct reach of the schemes. Yes. I've just put some of the excess allocation in notional schemes. So, urea subsidy, nutrient-based subsidy, interest submission scheme, reform link, compensation for service providers. No, these are all excess. Excess allocation in notional schemes for ST also is similar. Next. Excess for fraud schemes and under allocation for effective schemes. So Top class education for SCs, only 110. National overseas scholarship, 96. Even to get this, we know how many people have to suffer. Means come merit scholarship, national schedule care, hub center, free coaching, venture capital. They have reduced it very much. So also under the effect. So under allocation for effective schemes. Next. Excess allocation in general schemes. So Jal Jeevan, this water, no. This water, most of the time, even on the targeted schemes, we have conducted a study, they will draw a pipe from the tank to the kitchen. Now the tank will be situated in the dominant caste, that's okay, as long as the water comes, we don't mind. But the pipe will run the moment the Savarna Jati households and pipe will enter. So our people will have to come here and draw the water. We have conducted this study and made the submission to Bihar government. So Jal Jeevan Mission, such schemes, huge amount of 15. So general schemes, they have, Pradhan Mantri, Kisan Samman, this Mantri, all these things are accessing ST and SC. Yes. Road works. This is a famous thing. Actually. 6-lane roads, all that are coming under this. Actually, what we have not put for, and I think now, jails are being constructed. Judges' houses are being constructed. Police quarters are being constructed in several. Actually, if you go to the state level, this is even different. Yes? Gender budget is another major thing. I will not go much into it. I think Beena and others will go. But the fact is, and out of the total pool of 14 lakh, only 19,000 is being allocated for SC. So they have to get from SC budget, they have to also get from women's budget. So in the gender budget as well as in the ST budget, both they have not sufficiently allocated. And the same thing here, 14 lakh and 4,000. So we have not only started critiquing, we also have been for at least 2-3 years collecting what are the schemes, because once when we went to the finance minister about 5-6 years ago, why are you complaining? Why can't you come with a pool of schemes? So there is a pool of schemes very clearly. So we've said there are several schemes in higher education under each ministry, agricultural cooperation, agricultural research, then animal husbandry. Animal husbandry is a very potential area where our people are, whether it's small ruminants like sheep and goats, or chicken, several poultry is a very possible where hands-on our people are there, but even their animal husbandry is being starved. This is water, sanitation, health, housing, labor and employment. Yes. Several school education, skill development, MSME, rural development, social justice. And we've also given a kind of a budget, sample budget for the entire amount of allocation which is due for us, and saying if you're really interested, this is the set of schemes that we can in youth and sports and all this. So friends, this is election year. They are looking at the future of country up to 2047. They are not bothered about the current poor and the vulnerable. And even in the election year, they feel they can get away with this, which I feel is a crime that is being perpetuated against scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. And this budget, we are not analyzing a political speech. We are not analyzing the promises they have made. We are analyzing, as citizens of this country, the amount that the budget has to allocate as a citizen from my taxes, because the indirect taxes are being paid by the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, proportionately much more than what the rich and the income tax, like you and me, are also contributing, but that is much less compared to the indirect tax. So you are taking money from the scheduled tribes, and without any remorse, we are completely pillaging and undermining their development by taking away and not giving their due share. I think this is something that once again it has come, and you've seen the divide between the Ministry of Defense on the hand and the ministries of others. And this, I think, we really need to take it again to the ministry, but not only ministries, but we have to take it to the people to see how they can claim their rights. Thank you very much.
But the major challenges in this poor department is with school education and higher education. This is the total allocation, and the school education is 13,478 crores. So the only target scheme is only 1,074 crores. I'll give you the details. Under higher education, the total allocation is 4,181 crores. Out of this, only 63 crores is allocated for targeted scheme. This is shocking figure for all of us. But under MSc and MOTA, the allocation, whatever allocation is made, it is 100% for Dalit and tribal children. The grey area is that the current guideline mandates these two nodal ministries to allocate for Minister of Tribal Affairs, 100% they have to allocate for the tribal children. And for Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment, it is 72%. If you see, the deeper analysis of this scheme, this two department called school education and higher education, there is only one scheme called National Merit Scholarship, where the allocation is only 70 crore under the school education. And there is one more scheme called Pradhan Mantri School for Rising India, where the allocation is only 1,000, and rest are like non-targeted scheme, which are hardly, giving benefit to the Dalit and tribal community. Under the department called higher education, the total allocation this year is, as you know, 4,181. Out of this, only 63 crore is allocated for the targeted scheme called PM Research Fellowship. Only one scheme. There are as many as 51 schemes where the allocations is made, but only one scheme is targeting for the development of the community. This is the gray area within these two ministries. Let me focus on post-matric scholarship. Over the years of last 9 years, if you see the budget allocation versus utilization, the trend is like BE is always less than AE. As Paul sir said, the utilization figure is always more than the budgeted estimate. If you see the trend analysis for post-matric scholarship, except 3 financial year, that is 2021-22 and 2016-17 and 2014-15, everywhere the BE figure was always less than AE figure. AE is always greater than BE. But in case of NOS, the same picture is also with NOS, National Overseas Scholarship, where the AE figure is more than BE figure. Utilization is more than actual expenditure. If you see the trend analysis of total allocation under NOS, over the last 9 years, the total allocation was from 2014 to 2021, the total allocation under NOS was 127 crore. Out of that, the utilization was 163 crores. 163 is the utilization figure, but the budget estimated was only 127 crores. That means the supply side is less than the demand side. If you see the National Fellowship Scholarship, the same picture is also, it is a bit different. BE is always greater than AE. So the total over the last 9 years, if you see the total allocation under this National Fellowship Scholarship, The total allocation was 2099 crores, but the utilization was 1493. This is the only scheme where the BE is greater than AE. I mean, utilization is less than AE figure. If you see the pre-matric scholarship for the children whose parents are engaged in the unclean occupation, for last 2 years, this government has already stopped allocating fund for the children. You all of us are aware that every morning their parents come to our doorstep, our street, to keep the street, keep the city clean. If they don't come tomorrow or maybe next 2 days, I hope the entire country, entire city would be paralyzed. Nobody can move here and there. So in spite of their service, in spite of their daily service, the government is stopping allocating fund for their children education. This is another gray area. As you saw the picture of the budget allocation, this year, as you see, the total allocation for SC is 1,65,598 crores. But if you see that, the gray area, deeper analysis says that there is one important scheme called Shreya scheme, where the total allocation is only 428 crores. This Shreya scheme comprises of four schemes called top class education, free coaching, national overseas scholarship, national fellowship, where the allocation is meager in amount. If you see the top class education, the allocation is only 110 crores. For free coaching, only 35 crores. And for NOS this year, it is 95 crores. And for national fellowship, only 188 crores. So this is the challenge area for the target scheme and for the Dalit and tribal community. So another gray area is that this year the budget document reveals that there is no utilization figure reflected in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. None of the scheme have a figure. Utilization figure is not being reflected in the nodal ministry called Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Everywhere, if you see the entire scheme analysis, everywhere there will be 0, 0, 0, 0. This is the shocking. Tribal, there is utilization. So this is the deeper analysis of the SC and ST budget. There is one more scheme called venture capital. As you see, this year the total allocation for SC got reduced to 0.01 crore. 0.01 crore means only 1 lakh crore. Only 1 lakh, not crore. Only 1 lakh. Last year it was 10 crores. This year it is 0.01 crore. So this is the real picture of the Dalit and tribal budget of this country.
Thanks, Adikanda. I'm just wondering what venture can they start with 1 lakh allocation. That is also maybe by next year. I'm sure that scheme will not be there. It's a phasing out of that scheme. Just to quickly give, Paul has already mentioned a little bit about gender, but just to quickly give, put it in perspective, some things within the gender budget. As we all know, there's 19,050 allocated for SC women and about 4,837 crores for SC women, which is about 1.32% of the total proportion of the allocation for the Dalit women and Adivasis, about 0.34%. Continues to be very less, but at the same time, we all know that inequalities in this country is rising, and violence and atrocities also is rising, and so the strengthening of PCR and the POA Act is what they give allocation for. It's about 168 crore allocation for just Dalit women. There is no allocation for either the trans community or LGBTQI, but there's this scheme called Support for Marginalized Individuals for Livelihood and Enterprise, which has zero allocation. We also have seen that we all know that manual scavenging is a blot on the society in this country. We would think that there would be more money put in so that we can completely eliminate this practice and give a dignified work for the women or even the men that go down the drains. Unfortunately, the government has 2 years ago introduced the scheme Namaste, which has which is what they want to push for mechanization of this work. While mechanization is fine, but that cannot be the only solution for it. We also have to see that there is budget allocated for alternative livelihood for the women, because once mechanization comes, we know who will own those machines and where those jobs will go. Also, school education. There was a scheme for children. I think Adikanda already mentioned children of women and men engaged in manual scavenging. That scheme is totally gone now and it's removed. So somewhere we are seeing that the push is they're one of their the four main areas of development is also technology, and how they're using technology to push out the poor and replace them without providing any kind of alternatives. I'd also like to say that in climate change, one of the things that we have seen is that there is no specific climate budget statement like they have in Bihar and Orissa. So, in this way, at the union level, you're unable to sort of look at what is the exact allocation and how do we monitor it. If there was a statement, then we would know how much each ministry is allocating for addressing climate change and disaster risk response. So there we think that there should be much more stricter mechanisms to monitor this. There is a loss and damage fund that has just been approved at the COP28. How is that going to filter down to the national action plans on climate change is something that we also have to see, and how serious this government is taking this. So, with just two things I'd like to say in how we're seeing a trend in the implementation of the budgets itself and the utilization. Many schemes, the utilization is much higher. Now, is this just an accounting exercise, or is there really more money being pumped into this? Is something that we are yet to see. But there are very, very important or critical schemes where we see that the allocation has not completely happened. Like, for example, children's scheme like pre-metric scholarship for the ST children, 1,755 crore was allocated, but only 1,068 crore was fully utilized. Similarly, the National Child Labour Project, which is a very critical project for or program for the Dalits and Adivasis, where 51 crores was allocated and only 31 crore was fully utilized. This, as you all know, is 2 years back figure. So this year we would have, it's 21-22, right? Or 22-23. No, 21-22 figures. This is to show that how the utilization has happened. So